Good morning, my neighbours!
Well, good morning, you sexy mother hubbards. It's Saturday, and it's time for an alternative paper review.
Prince Andrew's a nonce burger.
First up to the eye this morning. Disability benefit faces cut in Tory manifesto as PM bets election on welfare blitz. This is the latest incarnation or iteration of some sort of Rishi Sunak relaunch, isn't it? I don't know if you remember the earlier iterations. We've had Rishi Sunak, the change candidate, back at conference. Rishi Sunak, the AI technologist, interviewing Elon Musk. Rishi Sunak, the straight-talking realist who takes the tough decisions, like cancelling HS2. Like, I'm just gonna say it how it is, guys. We've got to wind this down. Well, none of those moved the dial, and now we are here, which is Rishi Sunak, the callous, heartless, disability benefit cutter. And it's just going to be the same as the Rwanda stuff before. Like, it was tough on immigration, got to get immigration numbers down, stop the boats, all of that stuff. Except now we're going over to that other Tory favourite, aren't we, of like benefit scroungers. Lazy, work-shy, chimney-climbing povers. I mean, the problem that the Tories have, really, is that every year that goes by where Tory doctrine, Tory ideology is rolled out, or at least, not hindered, is that year by year, more people need help from the state. More people fall into that universal credit, topping up their wages kind of area. And it starts off at like 20k a year, people, 22k a year. But every year it gets worse because the taxes get higher, wage growth doesn't keep up with inflation, mortgage outgoings double. People, it's going to end up with like 30k earners, 40k, 50k salary people are going to need universal credit to top up their wage. And the funny thing is that for all their talk of small state and benefit scroungers or whatever, where this is going to end, if it's not hindered or handled, is that accidentally we're going to end up in a situation where we have universal basic income. Over to the Sun now. I feared I'd die in armed raid at Delhi's. What? No, it's a WAG's robbery ordeal. Right, can't you, put it on the sports pages or something? Next to the Mirror. Now the world waits on Iran. So Israel attacked an embassy or something, then Iran flew some drones, then Israel have re-attacked Iran, and now everyone's like, what are they going to do? Is this the beginning of World War III? And I think the answer to that is, yeah, probably. But it's not all bad, right? Because although we've got Russia and Ukraine raging over here, and then we've got Israel and Iran raging over there, it does kind of put it into perspective, the little fight you had with your wife about the pictures she found on your phone of her niece's friend. Let's move on. Over to the Times now. Tories plan stamp duty cut. And this is, obviously another Tory election desperation story. This one and the front page of the Eye, you could sort of just they're the same story. It's the Tories clambering around trying to find something that might be a tourniquet to wrap around the wound of their dismal polling. Like, we've been polling 20 to 25 points down for over 18 months now. We're hemorrhaging seats. We lose every by-election. How can we stop the flow? And then some bright spark in the campaign and strategy area is like, oh, do you know what we should do? We should slash stamp duty, young people or homeowners or people, first-time buyers or people move like that. That would make things cheaper for them. Then they'll like us. That's pro-aspiration then, right? Although to my mind, there are two problems with that. Firstly, buying a home is increasingly out of reach for millions of people below the age of 45. So it's not like this is going to win over another 10 million voters who are aged 18 to 37. Most of them can't afford to buy a place. So how is this going to appeal to them? And secondly, I don't think we can rule this out, that this is actually a gift from the Tories to the Tories. It's like, they are the ones that own all the houses, all the investment properties, the 5-bed country piles. Incidentally, country piles is what the oligarchs were rumoured to be suffering from after a weekend at Boris Johnson's Chequers. But you can't rule out that this is a gift from them to them, and I'll tell you why. Because they know they are going to lose the election. That is on record. It's been in the Times or the Telegraph or something. They were like, look, nothing is going to bring this back now. We are going to lose the next election. Now, if you were a Tory or a Tory donor or a Tory staffer and you owned some property and you genuinely thought Labour/socialism was going to be the end of the UK, right? And you were planning to leave, I mean, what better leaving present could you give yourself than making it significantly cheaper for you to liquidate your own assets before you jump on that private jet to leave? And for the very few members of the Conservative Party who might still have something resembling a conscience and ethics, who are like, well, hang on a second, if we slash the stamp duty, how are we going to pay for that? Like, we don't want to leave the coffers dry. Don't worry, because this guy in the wheelchair is going to pay for it.